Pinball, the long and forgotten lost art of marrying mechanical trinkets and electronic doohickeys. It's a game of skill, a game of physical labor, a game of bumper bumping. Really, the audio-visual assault to your senses is quite magical and alluring, but today's youths want nothing to do with these physical objects and honest-to-goodness electrical engineering. No, they want their games to be at the ready and playable at a moment's notice. Oh, and topped with busty ninja ladies ready to be pummeled by their shiny metal balls. Well, my dear backloggers, this time around, I'll be taking a look at the game that gives a whole new meaning to the phrase gobblehole. SENRAN KAGURA Peach Ball. So stack those tokens and grasp that plunger because it's time for another backlog review. SENRAN KAGURA Peach Ball is a 3D pinball sim of sorts, with a hard emphasis on fan service. Developed by Honey Parade Games and released in 2019 for the Nintendo Switch and PC. Ever since its inception on the 3DS, the SENRAN KAGURA series has been a cult phenomenon in the Ichi anime realm, with just under a dozen games spanning various genres and across multiple platforms. It even branched out into a series of manga and anime. But despite its wide berth of games, there's always one thing in common with an entry in the SENRAN KAGURA family. Bright and colorful graphics, illicit use of futomaki and or scrolls, voluptuous shinobi, and some sort of jiggle or clothes-tearing mechanic. And Peach Ball is no different. Except this time around you're playing pinball instead of clashing swords or spraying your opponents with water guns. In SENRAN KAGURA Peach Ball, you play as nameless, faceless protagonist who has found themselves swept up in a flurry of shenanigans while attending a tournament hosted by Honey Arcade, where the entire SENRAN KAGURA team is in attendance. After discovering a concoction during the tournament that, for whatever reason, the owner created, and inoculating themselves with said substance, the girls all start to transform into animals, or in this case, find themselves clad in revealing costumes that slightly resemble a multitude of animals. And the only way to change them back is to make each of them remember who they are. Apparently to do that, you need to throw them up on an oversized pinball table and hit them enough times with fuzzy pinballs. Really, it's best not to overthink it. You'll be better off that way. Luckily, you, nameless faceless protagonist, are here to save the day, and so you shall. But then you have to ask yourself, what is this game about? I mean, you've already worked up the courage to pull the trigger to buy it, and you've come to terms with it having its enticing icon gracing your home screen. Probably between two other inconspicuous games as to not draw attention. Well, to be perfectly honest, SENRAN KAGURA Peach Ball is pretty much what it looks like and sounds like. That is, a passable video pinball game that's 100% anime and unapologetically lewd. I mean, come on, it has 5 curvaceous ladies in animal bikinis smack dab in the middle of its icon. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying. And I say passable because without the other half that we all really came here for, the pinball part is just kind of there. It's certainly not terrible, in fact it's quite fun, but there's also nothing special about it that would make you want to come back for more. I mean, there's only 2 play fields. They each have their own unique gimmicks, of course, but that's pretty slim pickings if you ask me. Sure, you can get different skins for each board, but that doesn't really change anything other than how it looks. Even the story mode is kind of bland, uninspired, and basically has you replaying each of the 2 play fields ad nauseum as you go through all 5 of the characters' storylines. Which boils down to you racking up enough points to fill up the Peach power gauge and then smacking the characters' chests or bums until their clothes disintegrate. I'll admit that part is a little cringy, but hey, at least the music is catchy. Honestly, the best part of the game was trying to collect all the unlockable goodies, which included new costumes, accessories, skins for your pinball, etc. As someone who takes pride in their addiction to trying to collect everything in a game, It really scratched that itch. I may have had to suffer through more games of pinball than I needed, but that's the cross I bear. And it was fun being able to dress up each of the girls in their shiny new costumes and pose them for photo shoots. You know, for research. When trying to conclude whether or not I should recommend SENRAN KAGURA Peach Ball, I was actually having a hard time coming to a decision, because I know there's definitely an audience for this type of game. So here's what I'll say. If you have a strong stomach for fan service and could care less about the gameplay or how you get that jackpot, then go check it out. You may or may not be satisfied. If, on the other hand, you're a pinball connoisseur, then you may want to look elsewhere. There are plenty of other places to play pinball to do that, and they do it better. And if you're after the scantily clad anime ladies, well, the internet is rife with that as well.
Nice!